Unfortunately, due to anti-Semitism, there's been many discussions about Jews taking off their kippah or their Star of David, Magen David, or the mezuzah from their doorposts out of fear or out of concern about being identifiably Jewish. And in this week's Torah portion, we have the story of the 12 spies. And they come back from touring the land of Israel, and they say the famous words, Vanehi be'einehem kechagavim. We were like grasshoppers in the eyes of the inhabitants of the land of Canaan. And these fatalistic words of lack of confidence and courage and feeling small and insecure in the face of the inhabitants doomed the entire Jewish nation to have to wander in the desert for 40 years. And the lesson that speaks to us 3,300 years later is that as Jews we should never feel small in the eyes of others. On the contrary, as Jews we have every reason to be proud and wear our kippah and our Star of David or other identifiably Jewish symbols with pride in our rich heritage and our vast contributions to the world. God forbid if we ever come to a country in which a Jew has to hide his Jewish identity. That would be a tragic day, not only for Jews, but it would speak very badly about the state of the society in which we live, that it is so intolerable that we cannot walk around as proud Jews. A friend of mine, Rabbi Benny Zippel, who is the Chabad rabbi in Utah, told the following story, that he grew up in Italy, and he went to a Jewish day school through elementary school. But when it came time for him to go to high school, his parents wanted him to go to a very good public high school. And he was forced to go to this school by his parents. And he was the only Jewish child amongst 28 students in this high school. And he became very close friends, and they all respected him as a Jew, and he wore a kippah to class each and every day. Well, one day, he says, he was rushing late to school, and when he got into the classroom on a cold Italian day, he took off his jacket, and when he took off his woolen cap, he realized that in the rush to leave his home and get to school, he forgot to put on his kippah. And now he didn't know what to do. The rule of the school is once you came, you could not leave without permission. On the other hand, he knew that they would never give him permission to leave and go back home to put on his religious skull cap. And so he just walked out of the class, stood in the hallway, not knowing what to do. His friend said, "Why are you leaving?" He said, "I forgot to put on my kippah and I don't know what to do. I can't sit without a kippah in class." Well, he stood in the hallway for about 15-20 minutes until the principal came to see him. And she called him into her office and said, "You know, the rule is you cannot go home once you've come to class. And I would never give you permission to leave school for this. However, all your friends came into my office and told me about your situation. And they said that if I don't let you go home to get your kippah, your skull cap, they will all protest by leaving class. And so I'm giving you permission to go home and get your yarmulke, your head covering." That is the story of Jewish pride. When we stand for something, we don't lose respect in the others. On the contrary, we gain their respect. The world can only respect a Jew who respects themselves. If you can't respect yourself, you can never expect others to have any respect for you. Let us wear our kippot. Let us not feel like grasshoppers. Let us be proud of who we are and never allow anyone else to minimize our own self-worth. Shabbat Shalom.